Shalom, family trendsetter. Before I continue, I have to give all praise to the Most High Power, Hashem, for allowing us to see another day. The only true and living power, the only Savior, as far as I'm concerned, that I have to give and pay homage to is the Most High Power, Hashem. Now, there's a couple of topics I want to discuss in this one video. The first one is this virus that's being spread worldwide, started in China. Now, I have to say this, and I know a lot of y'all tired of hearing me say, but I got to say it because sometimes you have to be repetitive. You know what I'm saying? You have to say the same shit over and over for sometimes your people to understand what information you're trying to convey. Now, I told y'all that before our New Year, which begins in April, the Hebrew New Year, the true New Year, not now when everything is dead. In January, everything is dead. You can't call that a New Year when everything is dead. When things start to spring back into life, that's the new year. I told y'all that something major was going to occur, that everybody worldwide was going to be affected. Now, I thought initially it was going to be the war with Iran. I guess that wasn't it. But sure enough, the prophecy or the prophetic insight that I've received, let's put it that way, from the Most High, I believe it's this virus that's spreading worldwide. Now, what I noticed about this particular virus compared to the Ebola virus, right? When the Africans was dying, I'm talking about in the thousands from this disease, there wasn't an international response. Yes, there was a lot of countries that was worried about the spread of Ebola to their country, but notice how they're like quarantine everybody, and everybody, you know, all the countries internationally is getting involved to try to put a hold on this particular spread of this virus. Why? Because it's coming from another nation other than a black nation, right? It's coming from China. Now, we know China facilitate the whole entire world and shit with their goods. So I don't see where, you know, everybody's falling back and saying, well, let's see how far this thing goes. No, everybody, the whole international community is involved because now it has to do with another nation that they actually rely on. Africans, they rely on our resources, but we as a people are expendable because for the most part, what they do is they send their governments, right, into African countries, not to stray off topic, but they send their governments into African countries, offer loans to these countries that's, you know, pretty much in destitution state. In other words, they're in poverty, right? So they offer them loans at a high interest rate. And a lot of these fucking representatives of these African countries, they want to, you know, line their pockets. So they accept these high interest rate loans, knowing damn well they can't pay them back because you couldn't pay them back before you took the loan. How the fuck you going to pay it back after you take the loan? So what these countries like America, China, you know, these countries from Europe and shit, they do, they go into these African countries and they give them loans, and then when they can't pay it back, they pretty much take claim or stake claim on their region, on their area where all the resources are. That's what they do. They'll go, and you know what's so funny? When they give them the loan, they don't even give them the money most of the time. They actually start building up infrastructure, right, in the African countries. So it's almost like, back in the day when I used to make my video, I used to say to y'all, man, make sure y'all buy a land first before y'all build a house on the land, because in the event you can't pay your mortgage, they could take the house back, but they can't take your land. So oftentimes you can actually sell that land back to the mortgage company for more than what you actually pay for, because now they got their property on your land. So it's the same thing what these fucking devils do. They go around the world and shit that have the resources, like especially in Africa, like China is doing right now, and they're building up infrastructure, bridges, roads, you know, all this shit. And the African people is getting excited about it, not realizing that China's taking claim on your shit, because with all that money and that, well, not really money again, but with all that infrastructure that they're building, these resources that they're bringing to Africa, they know that y'all don't know how to reap your own, you know, resources that you have in your land in Africa. So they bring in their technology, their equipment, and they start and set up shop. And then you have military, of course. They set up some kind of base and shit, military base and embassy in your country. And then next thing you know, they take over your region and shit, just like what they did with Iraq. You know what I mean? So back to this virus that's spreading worldwide. So now the Most High is pouring out his judgment and shit, right? Because I told y'all 2020 is going to be a year that everybody's going to be talking about. Everybody's going to be affected by a worldwide event, which I believe this might be it. Now, they kind of like downplaying how many people are infected by this particular virus, because you got to understand something, right? Let's say even if you don't visit China, China is coming here. You have goods, you know, meat product. A lot of y'all like to go to Chinese restaurant to eat this nasty fucking roadkill food. You know what I'm saying, that they're providing for y'all. Notice when you go to China, right? I mean, Chinese restaurant. They'll give you more meat than they give you rice. I kid you not. They'll give you more meat than you'll get rice, because they know a lot of this meat is imported from China. A lot of this meat is bush meat that they're getting from all over. Chinese people eat all type of shit. This is not a hate speech video. It's just me pointing out the facts. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of time we as black people, because we're living in poverty, we'll, you know, patronize a Chinese restaurant. These motherfuckers so nasty. Sometimes I remember, like, when I was living in New York, they used to have big ass rats running around in fucking Chinese restaurants and shit, and people were still patronizing this shit. Who's to say they're not catching these rats and cooking it and serving it to y'all? You know what I mean? We got to start thinking, man. That's why I don't go out too much and eat. I'm always home cooking. I cook 95% of the time in my house. I kid you not. My wife don't do shit. She don't even like to cook. You know what I'm saying? I do most of the cooking. She'll do the cleaning. Because I don't even, to be honest, you know, women, y'all could cook. But we know y'all, when y'all on y'all that menstrual cycle and shit, I don't want y'all touching my food. I don't even like sleeping in the same room. I don't sleep in the same room when my wife is on her shit. You know what I mean? Not to put her business out there. I don't. Because it's just, to me, I don't know, it's just unclean. Let's just put it that way, all right? And I'm trying to disrespect you ladies and you family that actually, you know, do it, but I don't do it. So, yeah, this shit is gonna be worldwide, you know, soon enough. You know, because right now we have one case in Maryland, one case in DC, and one case in Virginia. And that's what they're saying. We don't know how many cases they have. So, family, we're gonna have to start really and truly, man. I would say this, right? Again, go out there, take out whatever little money you have in the bank and start stacking up on shit in your home. In the event there is an outbreak and you know you're fearful of going to school, or let's say going out, you know, they say kids gonna have to stay home because now this shit is in the school, because you never know how far this thing is gonna go. At least you have provision in your home, food, you know, water, whatever that you need, you know, to survive. You don't have to go out to Walmart, be amongst the people. A lot of you Christians like to go to church and shit because that's the only place you feel you can get attention from, because you probably don't get it in your home. That's why I think a lot of Christians go to church. So you around all these fucking people in one building, right? You don't know who got what. They coughing and shit, you know, you speculate, oh, it's just probably a simple cold. No. It could be that new disease. I don't even know how to pronounce the shit. That's why I'm not even saying it. So what I'm saying to y'all, family, man, listen. With all the Christians that's out there, all the religion that's out there, with all the churches that's out there, why are there so much death and destruction on this prison planet? Because we're fallen angels, we're fallen beings, spiritual beings, trapped here on this prison planet as a do-over, to get it right. Why Jesus Christ can't save us? Talking about saving us, right? I'm going to switch the topic a little bit, because this right here is going to probably piss me off. I really didn't want to bring it up, but I have to. So out here in Maryland, right, you had a black police officer, a fucking coon, because usually when they start to act like the oppressor, you know what I'm saying, they take on the spirit of the so-called oppressor. You had a so-called black policeman arrest a black individual. According to the story, he was high on PCP. So he arrested him, handcuffed him, put him in the front of his vehicle, and lit his ass up. Shot him up, family. I kid you not. Sprayed him with bullets and shit. Why? Because I guess he's going to use the defense that he feared for his life. How the fuck can you fear for your life when someone is handcuffed, thrown in a car? What could he have possibly done at that point with his hands cuffed and inside of a vehicle? How can he literally put you in harm's way? But I believe, family, when these dumb motherfuckers, these so-called...
There's a speed trap ahead.
I apologize, family. These so-called law enforcement, when they take on this badge, or put this badge on, right? And carry this instruments of death. This instruments of death. A fucking gun then, right? They feel that they're invincible. I think they take on a spirit. Literally, a spirit of death. Because Now it's like when they are arresting you and shit and you give them some kind of issue or problems, right? Or buck back or whatever, they killing your ass. Black and white. Now you got niggas taking on the so-called oppressor mentality. But the difference is this. This nigga was black. The so-called officer, he's so-called black. So they're not going to give you the same kind of justice. In other words, you ain't going to be able to say where you fear for your life. Because guess what? The next fucking day, they arrested his black ass, his black nigga ass. And I'm saying it in that manner because you want to act like you're oppressor now. You want to oppress your own fucking people because you got a badge and a gun given to you by your oppressor. So now you like a house nigga going out in the field and terrorizing the slaves out in the field. That's what you're doing. You know what I mean? And I hope and pray that the Most High does pour out judgment on your ass. I hope that they put your ass away for life, and when you do go to prison, they beat the shit out of you. Because I can understand if this individual was attacking him, you know, with a weapon, where he really and truly should fear for his life. But this individual was handcuffed, family. I kid you not. Y'all need to research that story. Google this shit. You know what I mean? It happened close to home too. So, you know, it's just so much going on, man. It's so much I want to talk about. I personally believe ever since they ramped up that machine, that kaleidoscope called CERN, in CERN, Switzerland, I think in 2016, there have been a lot of anomalies. I like that word, anomalies going on. You got a lot more possession, people getting possessed and shit, a lot more disaster all over, even though I know some of it is man-made and shit, but it's a lot of stuff going on, man. And of course, the biggest fucking anomaly is your commander-in-chief, Donald Trump, which I believe is going to get a second term. If they don't remove him from office, which is very unlikely it's going to happen, Donald Trump is going to be your next president for 2020. Mark my word on the shit, all right? Because they need that devil. They need that fall guy in office. He need the presidency. Because once they kick him out of there, he's going to prison. He got so much litigation against him. You know what I mean? But I just want to come on here, man, and just share my thoughts for the day with y'all. You know what I'm saying? Because this is a lot of shit going on. And we're caught up with a lot of distraction. But I'm telling you, family, we need to take heed. You need to go out there and start stacking up. Start being a prepper. Start prepping. Because it's going to come a time. I don't know if this is the big one. I don't know if this is the prediction that the Most High gave me, the prophetic insight that he gave me. It could be something else. But, you know, you never know. This is a start. Notice how since January 2020 start, within this first month and shit, how many shit have happened. You know what I'm saying? You know, you had Kobe Bryant death, him and his daughter. That's something major. That's something big everybody's talking about. Let me just say this, man. I'm not trying to be a self-proclaimed prophet, but like I always say, if you're in tune with the Most High, following the Lord's statutes and his commandments, right? And the dietary law, that's it. No extra shit, no baptism, no christening, none of that shit. Once you start, you know, following the Most High Lord's statutes and commandments, even this Helio Biblos book that we read, I take a lot from it because there's a lot of great information in it. I promise you, the Most High will reveal things to you. I'm very spiritual, very, very spiritual. You know what I mean? But I just want to come on here and rap with y'all a little bit. I'm still working on 2 other videos that I want to share with y'all, but I cannot post it yet because I do not want to have a copyright strike against me and shit again. So please, you know, stay tuned, be patient. I'm telling you, y'all gonna love it, especially the first one I'm gonna upload. It is very, very interesting because it's talking about a certain demographic of people. I'm not going to talk about it much in this video because I don't want to say, here we go again with the hate speech. But you have a certain demographic of people, right, bringing forth information about themselves, coming from the horse's mouth, proving that, once again, we're not living amongst all human beings. Not everybody that walk amongst us that look human are human, especially a certain demographic of people. Read between the lines, family. You know who I'm talking about. All right? They're referred to as hybrids. And you're going to see proof. So I'm testing the waters. I'm trying to see how far, you know, how much I can get away with. I'm looking and researching other videos similar to that one. That way, if they try to, you know, strike me and shit, I could use that in litigation against there. I said, well, listen, how about this video similar to mine? You know what I mean? Just stay tuned, family. I love y'all. Appreciate y'all support. And I really appreciate each time y'all comment in the comment section. Even if you have to critique me on some shit, I don't mind. I just like the interaction that y'all give. You know what I mean? They like to say on YouTube videos, give me likes and thumbs up and all. I don't do all that shit because I'm not going to force you to give me a like or a thumbs up if you don't appreciate the video. A lot of times I watch the video is very interesting, but I don't feel like thumbs up or anything. You do it if you want to do it. You know, that's totally up to you. If you felt the information that I presented this particular time is informative, yeah, if you want to give me a thumbs up, you know, you could do that. And I'm not doing it because I want my shit to be viewed, you know. Nah, my average viewership is like 100. I'm good with that. You know what I mean? If 100 motherfuckers decide to watch my shit, hey, I'm happy with it. Because, you know, at the end of the day, I'm not trying to win a popularity contest. My shit is not monetized. And like I'm getting paid for the information that I bring forward. Even if I had a lot more subscribers than I have, I wouldn't monetize my shit. You know why? Because information is supposed to be free. Salvation is supposed to be free. You shouldn't have to be paying tithes and offering to know about Jesus or God. And with that, I say shalom.